Live from Fox 5, welcome to the News Block.
And we are on storm watch this afternoon on the News Block. A sticky, gloomy day giving way to bouts of thunderstorms and rain that'll stick around through your ride home. Plus, 2 downstate casino proposals clearing a major hurdle. Details on the votes to make those bids a reality in Queens and Westchester County. And Sean Diddy Combs back in a lower Manhattan courtroom for the first time in weeks. Why his attorneys are demanding his conviction be overturned with sentencing day fast approaching. Good afternoon. I'm Richard Giacovas. Thanks for joining us for the News Block. We start this afternoon with that threat of severe weather as we take a live look outside. We're tracking the threat of an isolated thunderstorm and a lot of rain that is still on the way. We've been getting bands of it all day. We get right over to Liv Johnson, who's here with the very latest. Hey, Liv.
Hi, Richard. Yeah, I mean, most of it has moved through the area. The worst of what we had earlier today has already moved through, and you can see that on the satellite radar. This huge system a little bit further northwest and now northeast of us going through parts of New England, but we still have some rain that's following. Shouldn't be as bad as what we saw earlier today, though. So in the past 24 hours, we've seen between a quarter to half an inch of rain in New York City, but a lot more northwest, as I mentioned, right? You see Monticello's already had more than an inch of rain. Look at Scranton, Pennsylvania, 2.5 inches of rain. Earlier, we had a tornado warning in Sullivan County, so it has been a bit of a treacherous day for some areas of New York State. We've been saved a little bit down here in the city, out on Long Island as well, but still, we've seen some rainfall, obviously. Wind speeds right now pretty calm, 5 to 10 miles per hour consistently throughout the tri-state. We do have some wind gusts at the moment, so 21 mile per hour wind gusts for Long Island. We have 19 miles per hour down the shore, and then it's a little bit stronger for parts of Pennsylvania. Also, Trenton seeing some wind gusts, 26 miles per hour. I would just expect to see some stronger winds throughout the afternoon and evening, especially for coastal areas as wind speeds pick up a bit. In terms of what we have coming towards us, though, as I mentioned earlier, we already have seen the worst of it, but we will still pick up maybe about a quarter to half an inch out on Long Island. We're looking at half an inch to an inch down the shore in New Jersey, but again, shouldn't be as bad as what we saw earlier. Our current temperatures in the mid-70s, but Newark is 80 degrees right now. Belmar is 79, and those dew point temperatures really making it feel sticky. We're in the 70s, mid-70s for some of us. That's going to persist today. It's still going to be humid tomorrow as well. Lows tonight will just get into the mid to upper 60s. We will probably see some showers tomorrow morning as well. Then we dry out, but it's still 80 degrees and humid for the afternoon. Saturday, we're looking at nighttime showers. Sunday, right now, we have a chance of seeing a couple showers. So kind of an unstable weather pattern until Monday. We look like we're in the clear with a high of 78. Richard?
The dry stretch has ended.
Yes.
Thanks, Liv. Well, we're following breaking news right now out of Queens as a vote on the expansion of Resorts World Casino near Aqueduct Racetrack passes unanimously. That vote happening just a short time ago at Queensboro Hall. The Community Advisory Board's 6-0 vote. Big step forward for this $5 billion expansion plan, which would expand existing casino floor space to 350,000 feet, which could mean table games like blackjack and poker. There's a lot of opposition to it, though, still. The project is vying for one of 3 downstate casino licenses. And we're going to roll the dice in Westchester, where a casino expansion in Yonkers is also getting the okay. In a 5-0 vote, a Community Advisory Board in Yonkers voting to expand MGM Empire City into a full-blown casino, which would mean adding live dealer games at Empire City and entertainment. Supporters say union jobs and tax revenue will be the biggest perks for the area, while skeptics worry about who'll really reap the economic benefits.
I'm pretty optimistic, but that the state is going to come through, that we're going to be one of the final 3. So it's a good day for Yonkers today.
My concern is that it seems like the developers are benefiting more than the residents.
3 Manhattan plans have already been rejected, including having a casino in Times Square. A state board is expected to award the 3 available licenses by the end of the year. Now to breaking news in the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing, which is just less than a week away. He was back in court today with his lawyers now demanding the rapper's conviction be overturned. The reason? Well, defense attorneys say Diddy, for the 2 violations that resulted in convictions, had racist and sexist origins. Our Lisa Evers was in that courtroom in Lower Manhattan from the very beginning, and she joins us now with the latest. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Richard. Yes, it was a packed courtroom today. It was Sean Diddy Combs' first time back in federal court since his July conviction on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution charges. And with his sentencing just days away, his defense team is still still fighting to get the guilty verdict thrown out. Now, as they did for weeks throughout the trial, Diddy's mother, Mrs. Janice Combs, his daughters, and other family members came to the federal courthouse at 500 Pearl Street for a special hearing seeking to get a jury's verdict overturned. Diddy's attorneys arguing the judge should throw out his felony convictions because he was not engaged in commercial prostitution. Instead, they argued, he was exercising his First Amendment right to consume homemade pornography. Now, Diddy appeared in court not in the business casual crew-neck sweaters and button-down shirts that he was allowed to wear during the trial, but instead in the standard issue tan jailhouse inmate uniform. His hair was the longest we've seen throughout this entire saga, and his salt and pepper beard stretched from ear to ear. He smiled broadly at his family and his supporters and nodded his head. That's because he was handcuffed as he was brought in with U.S. Marshals on his side. Now, legal experts say that it's very unlikely at this point the verdict will get tossed before his October 3rd sentencing. His team is asking that if the verdict stands, that he should be sentenced to time served, which is about 13 months. If the judge agrees to that, he could walk out of the courthouse a free man as early as a week from tomorrow. Richard?
Lisa, you know, there's so much that's been happening. His sentencing is set for next Friday. What will happen next in this case?
Well, the next thing is the judge is expected to issue his ruling. He said it could come sometime between now and a week from next Friday, which is this set sentencing date that everybody agreed on, or at the latest he could give it on that sentencing date, which some legal experts think is the most likely scenario now, Richard.
All right, so much to follow, and we know Lisa will be there for next week. Thanks, Lisa. And new this afternoon, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas addressing the UN General Assembly. Speaking over video after the United States revoked his visa, Abbas told world leaders his people reject the 2023 Hamas attack on Israel and promised that the militant group would have no role in governing the Gaza Strip once the war ends. Abbas also laid out his vision for a Palestinian state to coexist alongside Israel, but also accused Israel of committing war crimes and genocide in its attacks on Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will give his own address to the UN in person tomorrow. Former FBI Director James Comey's legal fate could be in the hands of a federal grand jury in Virginia as the Department of Justice considers charging him with lying to Congress. Fox is told federal prosecutors are planning to present evidence relating to allegations Comey lied to Congress in 2020 while testifying on his investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. This comes as the statute of limitations is set to expire on the matter on Tuesday, 5 years after his testimony. President Trump has criticized Comey for years over his handling of that investigation and ultimately fired him in 2017.
We have to act fast, one way or the other, one way or the other. They're guilty, they're not guilty, we have to act fast.
This is all a political witch hunt being led by a president who is bent on revenge.
The president also publicly pressured Attorney General Pam Bondi to move forward with charges against California Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James for unrelated mortgage fraud allegations. And we're learning new details this afternoon of a horrific crime in Upper Manhattan. Police say it was a 99-year-old this time who was robbed at gunpoint in Washington Heights. It happened on Monday at West 187th Street and Audubon Avenue. Police saying the victim was standing at the entrance gate of a residential building when the suspect put a gun to his throat and forced him inside. Then he took off with $20,000. The 99-year-old was hospitalized with 2 broken fingers and a laceration on his hand. If you know anything or recognize anybody in this surveillance video, call Crime Stoppers 800-577-TIPS. And a 16-year-old boy recovering after being stabbed overnight. Cops say the teen was stabbed in the stomach and on his right leg at East 17th Street and 1st Avenue. He was hospitalized in stable condition. It's unclear what led to the attack. No arrests have been made.